With a dog, you can try out a few and you choose. And with a baby, they just hand you the one that's yours, and there's no refunds, no returns.
I never thought about it that way.
You do it. There's no going back.
So what are we doing here?
Letting you in on a little secret. I'd come here once a month for a little unconditional love.
Okay. But we're not taking him home?
Her. And no, I'm not ready for a full-time dog just yet. Unless you are.
I could think about that. But only if you're 100% on board.
I like that. I think that's the way we should think about stuff.
Stuff?
A first house, a pet, a kid, everything. Always making sure the other one is 100% on board. If we do that, I think there's no limit to the life that we can build. You want to get up here? Get a little puppy love? Come on.
Jamie sits closer to Eddie and touches her shoulder. Now, Erin storms into Frank's office.
Kind of hung me out to dry there, Dad, didn't you?
Your daughter's here, Commissioner.
So I hear. Thank you, Baker.
Baker leaves. Frank looks at Erin.
You carve me up over the governor's crime bill, and then you go out there and support it?
Well, it's a little more complicated than that.
I'm listening.
No, you're not. You're reloading. And not that I owe you an explanation, but Mendez pulled back on granting new powers to the state police.
And why would he do that?
Quid pro quo. He needs my support.
And why didn't you suggest that when I came to you for support?
Because when I make deals, it's to advance the interests of the NYPD, not to bail my children out of trouble.
I guess I had that coming.
And then some.
So besides winning a few concessions, how did you advance the interests of the NYPD?
That would be need to know.
I need to know.
Frank smiles softly.
Not to leave this room, but the parole board was set to release Mr. Dean first thing Monday morning. That will no longer happen.
The parole board is supposed to be independent.
And cop killers are supposed to die in jail.
Only if they were sentenced to do so, and Dean wasn't.
Oh, come on, Erin. He got 25 to life, so parole is a judgment call.
Yes, but not your judgment.
No, but sound judgment, by any measure.
I'm just grateful to be square with Mendez and off the hook for any favors.
Except for the one you owe me.
Erin starts to leave, then turns back to her father. He glances up at her. Wearing a disbelieving look, she walks out. Frank wears a conflicted expression. Cut to black. Executive producer Leonard Goldberg.
Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode.
Enforcement face when eradicating illegal pot farms at 11.
A fearless offer deserves a fearless performance. Action!
Get 4 lines of unlimited data for $100 a month plus 4 free smartphones when you switch.
Now jump!
Cut.
Jump!
Lunch.
No! Jump!
Is this a lunch order?
Jump!
Ooh, do they have chimichangas?
PNC Bank has technology to help make banking easier. Like a business borrowing solution to help get a little more space with a lot less mom. Or Home Insight to search for a new house within your budget because they really need their space. PNC. Make today the day.
It's here. Kohl's lowest prices of the season. Prices so low, no coupons needed. Women's tank tops, $5.99. Young men's tees and tanks, 2 for $12. The big one bath towel or pillow, $2.99. Plus, get Kohl's Cash. It's the lowest prices of the season, Wednesday through Sunday at Kohl's.
Why settle for a one-note grab-and-go breakfast when the McDonald's kitchen is a sizzling, toasty symphony? It's time to wake up breakfast with McDonald's.
Colbert's got Zach Galifianakis, plus music from Ellie Goulding tonight.
next Friday.
5 assaults allegedly committed by an officer.
What possible agenda could I have here?
That's what they call the known unknown.
New Blue Bloods next Friday.
Bull's new case will decide the fate of 2 brothers.
You think I'm a monster? Praying for one of my boys to lose his life?
Fight for the son you can't save. A new Bull, CBS Monday.
Eyewitness News. Lithia Subaru of Fresno. Subaru confidence in motion. This is CBS 47 Eyewitness News at 11 in high definition.
Tonight, Eyewitness News investigates. Triple-digit temperatures are just around the corner, and for law enforcement, so is the marijuana growing season. From March through October, members of the Fresno County Sheriff's Office Marijuana Eradication Team will be kept busy, along with other law enforcement agencies across the valley. This morning, I rode along with the Fresno County Sheriff's Department Eradication Team against these illegal fields and uncover the dangers that they face. With the Fresno County Sheriff's helicopter known as Eagle One flying in the foothills just below Prather, deputies on the ground are faced with cracking down illegal marijuana growing sites throughout the county. After the property was cleared, then deputies got to work. Law enforcement who are eradicating these fields not only have to worry about the bad guys with the guns who are many times protecting the field, but also the hazardous chemicals. Many of them have been outlawed here in the United States.
Careful, we found a bottle of barbecue.
Carbofuran is one of the most toxic banned insecticides around. This bottle was likely smuggled in from Mexico because its use in the state is banned. If any gets on your skin, deputies say it can quickly get into your bloodstream and attack your body's nerve system.
And it's supposed to be used in a very diluted form if you're going to use it as per the instructions, but they actually take paintbrushes and paint it on the stems of the plants. And at that concentration, it also kills rodents, it kills everything.
We can't show you the deputies' faces to protect their identities, but they say such drug growing sites are often accompanied with the smell of death.
And we've seen dead deer. Everywhere within a 100-meter radius of the grow, you'll see just dead stuff.
Another deadly chemical cartels are bringing in is aluminum phosphate. When mixed with water, creates a poisonous, deadly gas.
Just a little bit will kill you. And it's not something that, if I get to the doctor, I might survive it. You're dead.
These grow sites are contaminating and diverting millions of gallons of water, leaving trash heaps at hundreds of locations, and endangering the public using the forest.
This creek delivers water right into Sycamore Creek, which is, of course, the one that dumps into Pine Flat.
So all this stuff that runoff is just running off into the creek?
Yes, it's a totally uncontrolled.
So we're basically drinking this stuff.
Yeah, potentially.
Thankfully, Fresno County is getting help from members of the California National Guard.
So National Guard is a free asset to any federal and local law enforcement agency that's dealing with a drug nexus. It allows us to come in and help the agencies with any additional help at no additional charge.
And by the way, the California National Guard also donates time for deputies to search for these illegal crops in National Guard planes. That frees up Fresno County's Eagle One to help other deputies on daily patrol. The bottom line, the only way that we're going to get rid of these foothills and here on the valley floor, these marijuana grows, is to have community support. If you happen to see one, we need to report it. You could be saving your life and your family's life from the deadly chemicals that these cartels use. Now, if you have something that you'd like Eyewitness News to look into, go to our website, yourcentralvalley.com, and look for the News tab. Click on Eyewitness News Investigates. You'll be taken to a page where you can fill out a form with your issue. New at 11 tonight, after more than a year on the run, a man accused of molesting a child in Tulare County is caught. 40-year-old Buddy Joe Saavedra of Porterville was arrested in San Diego. Back in 2016, Tulare County Sheriff deputies were called to the Tule River Indian Reservation for the report of lewd and lascivious acts on a minor under the age of 14. A warrant was later issued for Saavedra November of 2017. Today, detectives tracked him down in San Diego and arrested him. He was booked into the San Diego County Jail and will be extradited back to Tulare County. Turning now to weather, what can we expect for the weekend? Meteorologist Madeline Evans is in for Maureen Jernica with our first look at the 10-point forecast.
Well, we're not going to be quite as hot, but that's the key word. We're not really going to be cooler, but it's not as bad as the week. We're already seeing those temperatures dropping this evening. We're at 68 right now in Madera, 67 in Merced, 72 in Lemoore, 76 in Hanford, Visalia sitting at 72. So Saturday's high still getting up to 90. That is about 11 degrees above normal. But Sunday we do start to slowly cool down. High of 87, so not quite as hot. But I am tracking temperatures dropping back into the 70s. All of those details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you. Well, police believe an Iraq War veteran was targeting people he believed were Muslim when he ran over 8 people in Sunnyvale. 34-year-old Isaiah Peoples made his first court appearance in court. He did not enter a plea and his appearance was brief. One victim, that is, says that Peoples was acting strange after the crash.
He was saying, "Thanks God for giving me this opportunity, and I love you, Jesus. I love you, Jesus."
Based on our investigation, new evidence shows that the defendant intentionally targeted the victims based on their race and his belief that they were of the Muslim faith.
People's mother and brother say that he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder from his time in combat during the Iraq War. His attorney disputes the crime could have been intentional given People's mental condition. In the South Valley, investigators say a suspect who was shot and killed last night was on a crime spree. On Wednesday, the Fresno County Sheriff's Office sent out this picture of the suspect connecting to some burglaries. Well, last night, a Kings County Sheriff's deputy recognized the pickup shown in the picture and attempted to stop the truck. A pursuit began, and then it came to an end at Guile and Avenal Cutoff Road near Stratford. The suspect is identified as 23-year-old Blaine Morris. Deputies say that he took off running and he was later spotted in a field. He ignored orders to show his hands, and deputies say he pointed a gun at one of them. And that's when deputies opened fire. Morris was shot and later died. We spoke with the Fresno County Sheriff's Office today about the case.
The suspect was very familiar to us. Back on April 7th, we had an auto theft in Riverdale, and we also had 2 commercial burglaries. One was in Layton and one was in Coalinga. Our Ag Task Force began taking over this case, looking for potential suspects. They came across some surveillance video which showed a man that was masked up holding an AR rifle standing next to a Dodge truck.
Investigators say Morris had been on a crime spree in both Fresno County and San Benito County. He's suspected of stealing 2 trucks, a trailer, and several pieces of farm equipment. Deputies say that he also may have been involved in a shot that was fired at a property owner during a crime spree that was interrupted. Well, we have continuing coverage to tell you about an instructional flight turned deadly in Madera County. A veteran pilot and a student from Fresno were killed when their plane crashed into a field. Tonight we're hearing from close friends as federal investigators continue to sift through the wreckage. CBS 47's Bailey Miller joins us live in the control room with the very latest. Bailey?
The 2 men took off from the Sierra Sky Park in Fresno to fly to Madera, but shortly after, the airport says they lost touch with that plane and then it crashed. Now, pilots are just mourning the loss of someone who they say is a pillar in the aviation community.
I'm very sad and distraught. I lost a very close friend.
Daniel Bates is mourning the loss of his dear friend and airplane mechanic, 79-year-old Joe Coolbeth, after he was killed in a tragic plane crash in Madera on Thursday.
Just the greatest guy you could ever imagine, you know. I don't really know what else to say other than I'm very sad.
Bates owns the ultralight Sting Sport single-engine plane that crashed in this field on Avenue 17 and Road 23. He says Coolbeth took 28-year-old Severio Kimienti for an instructional flight because Kimienti was working to earn his private pilot's license. Coolbeth took off from the Sierra Sky Park in Fresno to fly to Madera. The NTSB says they were doing airfield traffic pattern work for about 40 minutes, but then Fresno Air officials reported they'd lost touch with the plane. In Coolbeth's last radio call, he said he overshot the runway and had to turn back, but he never made it.
I was just wondering what happened or how it happened.
Tim Sowell knew Coolbeth well. He and others in the aviation community say he was an experienced pilot with a lot of qualifications. He first started flying as a helicopter pilot in the Vietnam War and served as a board member on the Central Valley Aviation Association.
Joe did everything by the book.
Now Sowell Bates and other pilots are anxious and waiting for answers while they mourn the loss of one of their own. Now, the NTSB has taken over the investigation, and they will be holding a press conference tomorrow at noon, and we will be there. So stay with us in our weekend newscasts and our social media for updates. Live in the control room, I'm Bailey Miller, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Bailey. For continuing coverage of the deadly plane crash, you can download our mobile app or go to our website, yourcentralvalley.com. Democratic presidential hopeful Julian Castro will be in visiting Fresno this next week. He'll be the keynote speaker at a fundraising dinner at the Fresno County Democratic Party. It will be held on May 3rd at Pardini's. Castro is the former Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under the Obama administration. Well, saddle up, everyone. The 105th Clovis Rodeo is off and running, and there's plenty of action from mutton busting to bull riding. Thousands of cowboys and cowgirls will be making their way to the rodeo grounds. As CBS 47's AJ Cotto shows us, there's still plenty of events ahead.
Well, we're only about halfway done. Today was stacked with rodeo events, plenty of action, and a little something for everyone. An action-packed day at the Clovis Rodeo. Look at this. The PRCA rodeo action kicking off Friday. Thousands of fans in the stands and top competitors in the arena.
We're getting the top stock. Cowboys want to ride the top stock. That's how they win the money. That's how they make it to Las Vegas in December for the national finals.
Cameron Messier comes year after year, cashing in on his event, saddle bronc riding.
You got to ride a bucking horse across the arena for 8 seconds and spur it, and the horse has got to really buck.
Messier sharing his secret after his 81.8-second ride.
I just hang on real tight and close my eyes.
While he waits for his results, this cowboy is already a winner. Phoenix Holland nails the best dressed competition for obvious reasons.
And I got a new shirt and a hat and boots.
His uncle, who got him suited and booted, says the rodeo is huge for the community.
I just love that this is in my hometown. It's a big rodeo and it just attracts a lot of people.
More than 40,000 visitors are expected over the weekend, bringing an estimated $12 million to the area and plenty of entertainment to the stands. And there's still plenty of time to get in on the fun. The rodeo parade kicks off at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Then the events continue throughout the weekend. In Clovis, AJ Cotto, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Lots of fun times out there. Well, coming up still on Eyewitness News at 11, new videos released of one of the Easter bomber attacks at a hotel in Sri Lanka. Plus, an update on the measles quarantine at 2 Southern California universities. But first, here are your winning numbers for tonight's Mega Millions drawing. It's worth $212 million. We're back in a little over a minute.
Eyewitness News investigates. Tuesday at 7. It's being called the miracle molecule.
And the benefits of it are long-lasting.
Cannabis oil. And it has some people ditching their pain medications.
It's a healthy habit. Every morning I have to have my coffee and my CBD. It's a way of life now.
But what are the health benefits? And does it get you high? We take a look into this growing trend.
If you are going to try it, really pay attention to your body.
Murrow and Emmy Award-winning Eyewitness News investigates with Ken Malloy and Catherine Herr. Tuesday at 7.
Parents have a way of imagining the worst when their easily distracted teenager has the car. At Subaru, we're taking on distracted driving with sensors that alert you when your eyes are off the road. The all-new Subaru Forester. The safest Forester ever.
Get to Subaru of Fresno on Blackstone, where every new Subaru comes with complimentary maintenance included.
Tonight, Cool Beer's got Zach Galifianakis.
We can be different, Steven. We don't have to build a wall between us.
Plus, Congressman Eric Swalwell. Tonight.
2 spins too many on that one.
Protect yourself from identity theft at the free Shred Fest Saturday, May the 4th.
Now, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Tonight, we're getting a look at one of the bombings in Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday. This is video from the Kingsbury Hotel. Suicide bombers attacked several churches and a hotel. 253 people were killed, including 4 Americans. So far, dozens of arrests have been made. New at 11, we have an update on the measles quarantine at 2 Southern California universities. The number of students and staff who are under quarantine has been reduced. The measure, that is, was ordered this week at UCLA and California State University, Los Angeles, after health officials determined that 2 infected people visited buildings on the sprawling campuses this month. At UCLA, fewer than 50 students and faculty members were isolated, and officials determined if they have been vaccinated or have immunity. More than 600 students and staff are still under quarantine at Cal State Los Angeles. Well, a group of community leaders in Fresno is bringing attention to survivors of domestic abuse and sexual assault. The latest class of Leadership Fresno just wrapped up the program with a final project over at Fresno State. They created a pathway of hope at the university in hopes of raising awareness and creating a space for survivors of domestic abuse and sexual assault.
There are so many survivors, men and women, who don't have a job that lets them take off so that they can go to court and fight their abuser and get that protection, that don't have support or financial means to move out and move on with their lives.
And by the way, the Chamber is currently accepting applications for the next Leadership Fresno session that will start up in August. You have to apply by May 17th. We'll have more details on our website, yourcentralvalley.com. You're invited to celebrate some world champions. Madera High School's Madtown Robotics 1323 recently won the World Championship Robotics Competition in Houston, Texas. In honor of that win, a victory parade will be held tomorrow. It begins at 10 a.m. at the Madera Unified District Office on Howard Road, and it will make its way to Olive Avenue and past the Madera High School baseball field before ending at N Street by the stadium. Well, coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 11, caught on camera, a whale off the coast of San Diego shows off for some watchers. The story right after your forecast.
Wow. Well, your hour-by-hour forecasts are staying fairly warm as we head into overnight, and even warmer for tomorrow. We'll make it to the 80s already by noon. I'll have your full weekend forecast coming up. But first, let's take a look at your allergy forecast brought to you by the Allergy Institute and Dr. Emma Minion.
And views where you live. The Valley Cam Network gives you the latest conditions live. See them on Eyewitness News or online at yourcentralvalley.com. Powered by Boz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Center.
It's spring savings time at your #1 Kia dealer in the Central Valley. Get Kia's stylish sedan, Optima, for only $19,795. Don't miss great selection and big Kia rebates. Now at Future Kia of Clovis or cloviskia.com 24/7.
Roadside attractions, and then there's our world-famous on-road attraction. If you've never seen yourself in a Mercedes, you've never seen these offers. Lease the 2019 GLC 300 for just $479 a month at the Mercedes-Benz Spring Event. Hurry in before April 30th.
Of all the things we hold, your future is the most sacred. The miracle that you are inspires everything we do. With each surgical advance and every hand that guides them. This is how St. Agnes heals the Central Valley with all our hearts.
The rule of 3 states, things that come in threes are inherently more appealing than those that don't. We couldn't agree more. Three trucks, 1 GMC. Step up to GMC and get over $12,300 total value on this specially equipped Sierra Denali when you finance through GM Financial.
Come see us at your Fresno Buick GMC dealer.
It's spring savings time at your #1 Kia dealer in the Central Valley. Get Kia's roomy SUV, Sorrento, with third-row seating for only $22,995. Don't miss great selection and big rebates. Now at Future Kia of Clovis or cloviskia.com 24/7.
Now your CBS 47 pinpoint weather forecast.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Madeline Evans. I'm in for Marina tonight. We are nice and mild this evening, and we're tracking more warm weather on the way. So let's start with a look at our Valley Cam network that's powered by Boz Allergy Center. This is a live view from our Kauai Delta camera in Visalia. Nice clear skies this evening. Temperatures still fairly warm out there, holding on to the 70s and even the 80s in some spots. But we do have some much needed changes on the way, but it's going to be very slow moving changes, so it's not going to be anything abrupt. We're still going to be fairly warm as we head into the weekend, and we're still going to have a slight chance of a few little pop-up storms. That's mainly going to be isolated over the higher elevations. It's because this upper level low is still right over us. So if you're planning on doing any hiking this weekend, just make sure you're keeping an eye on the weather, because these can be very quick moving systems that could bring some heavy downpours and some lightning with this. So just be aware of that throughout the weekend, because we will continue to see that slight chance. Cool down is on the way. This high pressure system, this was the culprit for all of the really warm weather this week. That's continuing to move away from us, so our temperatures will continue to drop, but it'll drop a little faster as we head into next week, because then we're going to see another storm system move in. That's going to move in Sunday into Monday. It's going to bring us another chance of some rain and snow for the higher elevations, only a very slight chance of a few little showers for the valley, and then it's really going to drop our temperatures into next week, right where we should be in the upper 70s. It'll feel a lot nicer compared to what we saw this week. Future track as we head into overnight into your Saturday, we'll see a ton of sunshine for us. Your start of your weekend looking beautiful. By the afternoon, we will see a little extra cloud cover start to work in, and there's that slight little chance of that pop-up storm in the higher elevations. Not going to be a big deal, but we do have that slight chance. As we head into Sunday, more sunshine to kick off your day, and that'll continue throughout the afternoon. Another good thing about that high pressure moving away is our air quality starts to get a little bit better. We're now in that good range for Merced and Madera, moderate for Fresno, Kings, and Tulare, same for Sequoia National Park, but those will most likely continue to get better as we head into the next few days, especially as we get some showers to help wash out that atmosphere. However, since we're still on the warm side for this weekend, we do have a flood watch in place through Monday morning. That includes parts of the Sierra foothills, Oakhurst, Mariposa, Bass Lake, Shaver Lake. This means we are getting that rapid snow melt from those higher temperatures, and we could see those levels in the rivers get very close to being overflowing. So you could see some flooding issues happen very quickly this weekend. So you want to make sure you keep an eye on that, and you're keeping an eye on the storm chances if you're planning on hiking at any point this weekend. Temperatures still in the upper 60s, 70s in spots, 76 right now in Fresno, 72 in Lemoore, same for Visalia. Still good bit cooler compared to this time yesterday. We are starting that cooling trend, about 5 degrees cooler in most spots. Then you look at about 90 for Saturday, dropping to 70 by the time we head into Wednesday. So 62 overnight with clear skies. Will be a little on the breezy side. Low 90s for the valley tomorrow. For the extended forecast for the Sierra Nevada, we will be in the 60s. So we're still going to see that flood watch in place. We do have a chance of storms to kick off your work week. For the valley, stay nice and dry. We'll see a good bit of sunshine. 90s for Saturday, upper 80s Sunday, and then we'll be back into the 70s by Wednesday. So luckily, those summer temperatures not here to stay just yet, so we get a little bit of a break.
All right, thank you very much. Well, take a look at this, folks. Yes, sightseers off the coast of San Diego got a spectacular eyeful during a whale watching excursion. Now, this video was captured on Thursday by the San Diego Whale Watch Company, and the whale showed off a couple of leaps in the air, and it wasn't shy. It was spotted twice that day, once on the morning trip and then again in the afternoon.
Did you see? It was just waving goodbye to everyone.
Beautiful, I know. It's like,
what's up?
Hey, have a good time, everyone. Enjoy San Diego. Wow. Well, coming up in sports, who will be the next quarterback at Fresno State? We have the answer. Andrew Martin is in the Sports Central desk with more.
Allards Art is your local source for all of your drawing and painting needs, from blank canvas to professional framing, plus the Valley's largest assortment of fine pens. Allards Art on Blackstone and Barstow.
For more information on this business, go to yourcentralvalley.com and click on Central Valley Local.
Unbelievable savings are going on now at your Central Valley certified pre-owned truck and SUV headquarters. We're overstocked with low mileage trade-ins. Shop our large inventory and get pre-approved today. Hurry to Future Ford of Clovis at futurefordclovis.com 24/7.
Well, I don't know, but I've been told it'll come back if you let it go. Open your heart, open your mind. The world's gonna turn and the sun's gonna shine. Everybody give a little. Everybody give a little bit of love.
We're about to show you an amazing demonstration. Every one of these Nissans has Pro Pilot Assist, game-changing tech that helps keep you centered in your lane and adjust your speed to help keep your distance. It can even help you stop and start without ever touching a pedal. Your highway commute is about to get easier.
This is amazing.
Pro Pilot Assist, available in 4 of Nissan's most popular models.
Get here today for a low $239 per month lease on Rogue, or get 0% financing for 36 months on Altima.
You're Sandman here. So, what are old mattresses good for? Surfing? Nope. Modern art? Holding off a zombie apocalypse? Yeah, no. Recycling? Totally. And it's easy. When you have a new mattress delivered, your retailer must offer to take your old mattress at no cost. Then your old mattress can be recycled into a bunch of great new things. Like a steel lock. You know, for the zombies. Visit buybuymattress.com for details. And rest easy.
Get unbelievable savings at Future Ford of Clovis, your Central Valley truck and SUV headquarters. This month, your choice. Lease an F-150 or Explorer. Just $379 per month at Future Ford of Clovis and FutureFordClovis.com 24/7.
Now YourCentralValley.com pros who know. Purchasing your first home is the biggest financial decision you'll make. Trust your local lender, Country Club Mortgage, and get pre-qualified today.
For more expert advice, go to YourCentralValley.com/pros who know.
CBS 47 Eyewitness News is always available at YourCentralValley.com. Sports Central, presented by Table Mountain Casino.
Jorge Reyna has been named the starting quarterback for the Fresno State football team this fall. Reyna was the primary backup to Marcus McMaryion last season. He only threw 12 passes, completing 8 of them. But he did have a touchdown in the season opener against Idaho. Reyna will be a senior in 2019. He was part of Coach Tedford's first recruiting class 2.5 years ago. Speaking of Bulldog quarterbacks, Trent Dilfer was on stage today at the NFL Draft in Nashville.
To announce the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selection, please welcome from Fresno State, Pro Bowler, Super Bowl 35 champion, and 3-time Buccaneers Man of the Year, Trent Dilfer.
He announced the Buccaneers' second-round pick, 39th overall. 3 rounds down in this year's NFL Draft, 4 more to go tomorrow. No one from the Central Valley drafted yet. The Fresno State baseball team opening a 3-game series against New Mexico tonight. The Bulldogs looking to extend their 6-game winning streak. Hundreds of those Aaron Judge baseball cards given out. It inspired the Bulldogs to hit some long balls. Bottom 4, Zach Fresno drives one deep to left center. It goes over the fence, but so does Jared Mang to make the catch. Fresno robbed of a home run, but only temporarily. In his next at-bat, next inning, Fresno hits one that won't get caught. And it's a 3-run shot. Bulldogs win big, 10-4. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs softball team also hosting New Mexico this weekend. First game tonight. Haley Dolcini in the circle, one of her 9 strikeouts. Bulldogs on offense now, bottom 2, bases loaded for Mackenzie Wilson. A chopper to second. She's out, but a run scores. Next batter, Miranda Roletter. Just enough to get it to the outfield and score another run. Bulldogs win by mercy rule, 9-1 in 5 innings. Last night, the Visalia Rawhide set a new franchise record for consecutive wins, 13. Now there's a new record, 14. The Rawhide beats Lancaster tonight, 6-5. Meanwhile, the Fresno Grizzlies lose in Reno for the second night in a row, 10-6 the final. The Grizzlies playing without their top prospect, Carter Kieboom, called up earlier today. He started for the Washington Nationals tonight in D.C., and he got his first major league hit in the 8th inning, a home run. It tied the game, but the Padres would go on to win 4-3. Finally, Fresno FC at home tonight, hosting Orange County. The Foxes coming off a bye week and trying to stay unbeaten, 2-0-3 coming in. They got off to a bad start, giving up 2 goals in the first 12 minutes. But they come back. A goal in the 78th minute, another one in the 83rd minute. And this game ends in a 2-2 draw. Dodgers win, Giants lose, and the Warriors beat the Clippers 129-110. Golden State wins the series and will face Houston in the Western Conference semifinals. Eric, should be a great one.
It should be a great one. Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you so much. Well, still to come as the movie Avengers Endgame opens, there's a local tribute to Marvel legend Stan Lee, and it's made of Rubik's Cubes. Find out what it took to make.
Drop into the Jeep Freedom Days sales event for legendary deals on legendary Jeep SUVs. During the Jeep Freedom Days sales event, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2019 Wrangler for $249 a month. See your California Jeep dealer.
Save big, save money, save now at the Blowout Sales event in Turlock this weekend. Offering major discounts on all 2019 toy haulers, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and tent campers. Best selection, best prices, best RV show in Turlock. Don't miss it.
Cycling.
Practice French.
Cooking class?
Art festival.
Climbing.
Getting a new Volkswagen can be easier than you think.
Matinee.
What will you do with the extra time?
Hot yoga.
Yeah. No, like yoga, but hotter. Love it.
With practically just your signature, you can get a 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing.
When you're shopping for a new home, you don't want just any old house. You want to find the home you've been dreaming of. And at Golden One Credit Union, home loans work the same way. As a not-for-profit credit union, we put our members first. So we help you find the loan that's just right for you. Apply today. Golden One Credit Union. We're stronger together.
Getting ready to work in your yard? Going out of town this weekend? Or simply doing some spring cleaning to welcome your new Honda? Get a great deal on a new Honda Accord at Honda's Dream Garage Spring Event. The Honda Accord was named 2019 Car and Driver's 10 Best. Hurry in to Honda's Dream Garage Spring Event.
This car was in a terrible wreck with a big truck. And it's big trucks like these that in one moment can change your life forever. We know big truck cases and we know how to win. Call us. It's just that easy.
Call 1-877-DUNYON.
Drop into the Jeep Freedom Days sales event for legendary deals on legendary Jeep SUVs. During the Jeep Freedom Days sales event, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2019 Wrangler for $249 a month. See your California Jeep dealer.
Coming up on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, tonight's guests are actor Zach Galifianakis and Democratic presidential candidate Congressman Eric Swalwell. New at 11, in honor of the premiere of the movie's Avengers Endgame, moviegoers in Clovis were treated to a tribute to Marvel legend Stan Lee. His portrait was made out of Rubik's Cubes at the Sierra Vista Mall. The artist used more than 1,000 cubes to make the image.
So I designed it ahead of time using Adobe and some other tools, and then with some trade secrets. And then once I design it, print it, then I can give it out to my team, and then they all know exactly what they need to spin. And
that's pretty cool. Each team member gets 25 cubes to work on, and then they're all put together and to form the picture.
You want to come join us? We need a photo with you.
Looks like some kids were a little bit bashful when it came to posing with superheroes. Folks got the chance to do a meet and greet tonight at Maya Cinemas in Fresno. Now, you're a big
huge
Marvel fan.
Huge fan. I am so excited. No spoilers. I've been trying to avoid social media because I haven't gotten to see it yet. But I mean, hey, I'd be a little bashful with some of those superheroes too.
Yeah, they're a little scary. Yeah.
We're looking at a good weekend for us. Maybe good to go to the movies for this because the AC is going to be nice. We're reaching a high of 90 for Saturday, 87 for Sunday. Cool down comes just in time for the next work week. So very opposite to what we saw this past week. 83 is the high on Monday, 80 for Tuesday, dropping to 79 by Wednesday. Back to where we should be.
There you go. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Eyewitness News at 11. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is up next. Have a great night.
CBS 47 Eyewitness News is on air, online, on your tablet, and on your smartphone. Take Eyewitness News wherever you go and share your stories with us on Facebook, Twitter, and on yourcentralvalley.com.
Yours home today. Now get F-150 with 0% financing for 72 months. That means over $10,000 in possible savings.
The savings are popping up all over during our giant $15 million RV closeout sale at Trailer Hitch RV in Napomo. $16,000 travel trailers, just $11,999 and $84 a month. $40,000 fifth wheels, just $29,999 and only $184 a month. Plus similar savings on over 500 RVs. And up to 10 full days free camping on the beach or in the woods. $15 million giant RV closeout sale at Trailer Hitch RV. Just a short hop over in Napomo. Get in and get a great deal before the best savings are all gone.
Let your worries get tiny in your rear view. Out here, it's hard to sit still. And really, why would you want to? Wouldn't it be nice to keep moving in a new Toyota? Now get $1,000 cash back on Highlander, or get $1,000 when you finance with Toyota on the all-new redesigned RAV4 and RAV4 Hybrid. Toyota Safety Sense and 2 years no-cost maintenance comes standard. Toyota, let's go places.
Drive yours home today. Now get a 2019 Escape, Edge, or Explorer with 0 for 60 plus 1,000 total bonus cash. That's over 8,000 possible savings on Explorer.
Uncovering the truth about cannabis oil. Tuesday at 7.
The Red Line premieres this Sunday on CBS.
Kirstjen Nielsen is out as Homeland Security Secretary, reportedly forced to resign by President Trump, who has become increasingly frustrated by the surge of migrants crossing the border.
Looking for the perfect way to say goodbye to Kirstjen Nielsen? Let Hallmark help. Introducing the Kirstjen Nielsen Farewell Card Collection. You'll find sentimental cards like, "We've lost track of all the good times," and over 1,500 migrant children. "I'm not crying because you're leaving. I'm crying because you shot tear gas at me as I was seeking asylum." Everyone wants to say thank you. At least I think that's what those people in the restaurant were yelling. And finally, don't think of this as goodbye. Think of it as see you later at the War Crimes Tribunal.
It's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Tonight, Kirsten fired. Plus, Stephen welcomes Zach Galifianakis, Congressman Eric Swalwell, and musical guest Ellie Goulding, with special appearances by players from the Final Four, featuring John Baptiste and Stay Human. And now, live on tape from the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York City, it's Stephen Colbert.
Welcome, one and all. Thank you very much. Please have a seat, everybody. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, one and all, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Now, you may have noticed we are on a little later than usual tonight, because we're following the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. And I just want to say right off the bat, congratulations to my favorite team, the ones who were the winners. I believed in you. I believed in you. Oh, wait. You know that. I've always said that. One person who's not feeling like a champion right now is Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen, seen here as happy as she'll ever be again. Because last night, Nielsen resigned as Trump's Homeland Security Secretary. I believe, I believe she's leaving to spend more time separating her family. Now, even though Nielsen officially wasn't fired, reportedly she did not resign willingly. Not fired, but did not. That sounds like splitting hairs. No, Sarah did not dump me. She begged me to dump her. Now, Nielsen's departure is not a total shock. Reportedly for weeks, Nielsen has felt in limbo. Limbo is the right word here because we've all been watching just how low she can go. Last fall, there you go. Take a second. Last fall, Trump told aides he wanted to fire Nielsen because she wasn't tough enough on The Caravan. Two spins too many on that one. Now, sure, she puts kids in cages, but Trump was upset because Nielsen hasn't enacted stricter immigration rules. So, he just needs someone who can be crueler to children than Kirstjen Nielsen. Get ready for Secretary of Homeland Security, Pennywise. And of course, she will be taking his place. Trump didn't like Nielsen, and she was so clearly miserable. Why didn't she resign sooner? Well, according to people close to her, she was aware of how awful life would be for her on the outside